Affirm Holdings is another company you have on your radar. A recent IPO as well, just went public at the beginning of the year. It's a business we've talked about a little bit before together. It's certainly one that is starting to get a little bit more exposure here in our foolish universe. And we get a lot of questions regarding that buy now, pay later opportunity and questions regarding Visa and MasterCard. And is this something that investors in those businesses should be concerned about? But let's talk a little bit about Affirm. And just went public. I mean, this is closing in on a $30 billion market cap. The market is receiving this company very, very well. And I do understand to a degree why. I think we're still kind of learning about the buy now, pay later market and exactly how big of an opportunity that really is. But let's talk a little bit about Affirm. What does this company do and how does it make money?
Well, so Affirm's goal is to make the credit process transparent, easy, and fair. A lot of people have used Affirm's services without knowing it, especially if you're a Peloton customer. They do buy now, pay later financing, which is basically a fancy way of saying installment plans. So if you go to checkout on, say, Walmart.com or Target.com or any of those big websites, you might see a button that says pay X amount a month for 6 months instead of, paying in full today.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's Affirm. That's what they do. They offer that option to merchants. It could be zero interest financing. In some cases, they have to pay interest. It depends on the particular partnership, but they offer buy now, pay later plans. Peloton is by far their biggest customer, 28% of their revenue.
Wow.
So a lot of that has to do with, we mentioned 2020 is not a normal was not normal.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world was buying a Peloton bike. It was like a Sega Genesis when I was younger. Like every household wanted one of those in their house.
Yep.
I bet to the left or right of that piano behind you, there's a Peloton somewhere.
No. There's no Peloton in this house, Matt. But if there were, it would be downstairs. My wife's into Pilates, so we have a lot of that equipment, and we have a treadmill downstairs. I think we're about tapped on exercise equipment for now, though.
Fair enough, but Peloton could not keep up with sales in 2020. So the point is that is a big risk going forward to have 28% of your revenue tied to a company who just had a fantastic year because of the pandemic. The big unanswered question is what happens after the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, Affirm has a lot. They have 6,500 partners, including Walmart, Target, Best Buy. There's a lot of big companies that partner with Affirm to offer this option because a lot of buyers want that. A lot of buyers don't want a credit card that's going to charge them 20% interest. There's a big market for people who don't want to pay all the money up front, but also don't want to pay a ton of interest. That's a big market.
Sure.
So, they've had a lot of success with this, and that's why the market's so excited. They make money through their merchant partnerships. They're not doing this for Peloton out of the goodness of their hearts.
Yeah.
Peloton is paying them.
Yeah, and that's what I saw. I mean, it was they earn money from the merchant. They get that fee when they convert the sale. I mean, they get the interest income on simple interest loans, but like you said, I mean, it's not necessarily always going to be some form of high interest debt. I mean, that's really what they're trying to steer away from in order to offer folks an alternative to higher interest credit cards.
Right. Right now, I could go apply for a credit card that had 0% interest for 18 months or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's an extra step. It's a little confusing. The payments are tougher to keep track of. If I want to, buy a TV at Best Buy right now and want 0% interest, I could either, open, Citibank's website, apply for a new credit card, wait for the credit card to come in the mail, then buy the TV, or I could just go to my Best Buy shopping cart and click on the pay over 6 months button.
Yeah.
And be done with it.
Yeah. Well, and so you to your point there in regard to the market opportunity, it really does feel like this is a service that is really geared towards younger consumers. And I think that's a good thing, particularly when I see the data. I mean, it really is clear that younger consumers, I mean, we're talking about folks between 18 and 34 years old. I mean, these are consumers who are really more willing to trust their financial services with tech related companies as opposed to the old bank relationship that perhaps we grew up on, right? I mean, it's changing a little bit, right? You're getting these tech companies, these fintech companies that are partnering with banks in order to be able to offer these types of financial services, and consumers are feeling more trusting of those types of tech companies, feeling like maybe they're looking out more for their best interest. So, I mean, it feels like to me a lot of these companies, whether it's a firm or even Lemonade, they're really homing in on that trust factor, right? Knowing that they have that in with that younger consumer, and it really is all just about doing the right thing for their demographic.
Yeah, I mean, one millennials, of which I am one of the older examples. I mean, millennials are people like my age and like 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Um, there's a few things that you need that investors should know about the millennial generation. Like you said, they don't trust traditional banks. There are exceptions, but in a lot of cases, they don't trust the establishment financial institutions. This is why Robinhood and things like that are such big deals.
Right.
You know, they're companies made by millennials for millennials. They're looking out for their interests. You know,
Sure.
millennials are anti-fee. They don't want to pay fees or interest, any of that. They want their money to go toward purchases that are going to go into their pocket. If I'm paying $2,000, they're willing to pay $2,000 for a Peloton bike, but that's all they want to pay. They're not willing to put hundreds of dollars in their credit card company's pocket to do it.
Sure.
And number three, millennials want things to be easy. They don't want that. Like I said, I could get a credit card that has 0% interest for 18 months right now, but it's extra steps. It makes the process hard. They want things to be easy. You know, if I could click a button and finance a purchase over 6 months, why am I going to go through the trouble of opening a new credit card to do it?
Yeah.
So those three factors really are resonating with the millennial generation. And I mean, no offense to the Gen Xers like yourself.
None taken. None taken.
I know you're a tech savvy Gen Xer.
Well, yeah, maybe, but that's that part of that I guess has to do with my job. But I mean, I think you're onto something there in regard to millennials, and I think that's also something that carries on over to what Gen Z and I mean, like, or maybe millennials are Gen Z. No, that's not Gen Z.
No,
But
Gen
it
Z is
carries
after
over to
millennials,
younger.
but
Yeah,
millennials are key because we're entering our prime earning years right now.
yeah. Hmm.
I mean, millennials. I don't want to quote the exact age range, but I know it ends at 38 because that's what I am.
Right.
I want to say it's like 28 to 38 is the millennial age range right now. So they're entering the prime years of their career, and they have money to spend, which
Yeah.
is why they're such a crucial. That's why American Express's Platinum card has been such a big hit because the benefits like the Uber credits, and right now they're doing a Gold Belly credit to get food delivered, which I just used. It was really nice.
Nice.
But things like that are really resonating with the millennial generation who has the money to spend and doesn't want to wait, doesn't want to pay fees, and doesn't really trust the establishment.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. It certainly seems like they're onto something, and that's whenever you see a business, I mean, they really they find that market opportunity, that target demographic, and really cater to that demographic, and then you have to believe that younger generations to follow, that'll be the standard that's set. And I think that with a firm, they definitely are onto something, and we're seeing clearly with companies like Mastercard and Visa. Um, the language in their calls, they are talking about this space as well. I mean, they are introducing these types of features into their business models as well. So this is certainly something that a lot of companies are out there pursuing, and it feels like a firm is really one of the prime companies sort of blazing that trail, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean they are a leader, but before we move on, it's important to note that they're not the only one in this space.
Right.
They were founded by one of PayPal's co-founders, which I thought Jason would like about this company.
Sure.
Um, but PayPal is launching its own buy now, pay later services, which are could be a problem.
Yep.
Just
Square offers that to their merchants as well. I mean,
Square offers
that
that.
feature to their merchant customers.
Afterpay is another big one in that space.
Yeah.
So they're not alone. It's a big market opportunity, but with any big market opportunity, they're not going to let one company have all the fun.
Exactly.
You're going to see a lot of the established players like the PayPals and Squares of the world try to get in on the action.
Yep.